Good morning to all. Last time we had completed 3 chapters, 1, 2 and 4 and already completed revision of chapter 1. Next week we can start revision of chapter 2 and 4. But from today we are going to start new chapter, that is 9, soil. Okay, chapter number 9. Soil is one of the most important natural resources. Okay, we know like trees and mountain soil is also formed naturally due to natural calamities like volcano and earthquake, and rocks form, and the rocks is converted into the minute pieces of particles of rocks and converted into the soil. Okay, so this way naturally soil formed. Soil is one of the most important resources naturally. It supports the growth of the plant by holding the root firmly and supplying water and nutrients. The capacity is there in the soil. It can hold the plants firmly because root of the plant is entered with the soil, and soil provide minerals and nutrients to the plants because maximum naturally nutrients is present in the soil, and after when the upper layer of the soil is washed, the particles is flown away with the water. Okay, then it can be decrease in fertility. Till then, it's provide the nutrient. It is the home for many organisms. Soil is essential for the agriculture. It's a home for many animals are lives on the soil, and some of the animals are burrowing. Ant, rabbit, rat are burrowing animals live under the soil. Agriculture provide food because agriculture is depend on the soil. Maximum clayey soil is maximum contact and more water holding capacity is there in clayey or a black soil. Agriculture provide food, clothing, shelter for all because we obtain food from the plant and plant product. So soil is a interpretable part of our life, most important part of our life. The earth fragrance of the soil after the first rain is always refreshing. When the first layer of the soil particles are washed away, so maximum nutrients are present on the upper layer of the soil. It can be washed away by the water of a rain. Now, here soil with light. Okay, soil timing with light. Once a day during the rainy season, Paheli and Gujo observed an earthworm coming out of the soil. Paheli wondered whether there were other organisms also in the soil. Let's to find out. Because so many organisms are live in the soil, not only earthworm. And we know earthworm is increase the fertility of the soil. All the natural process done by the earthworm in the soil, so fertility of the soil is increased by the natural process of earthworm in the soil. Earthworms turns the soil particles and make a soil soften and increase the fertility. Because earthworm की जो natural process है वो soil में होती है, and that is why soil became fertile, and that is why earthworm is called best friend of a farmer. Here we have to see one activity, that is collect some soil sample and observe them carefully. Here we have to take a garden soil. We have take a field soil. We have to take a roadside soil. Okay, रोड की जो दोनों साइड पे जो soil होती है वो, that 3 to 4 sample we have to take. Collect some soil samples and observe them carefully. You can use a hand. Let's examples. Here we have to see some example. Otherwise, sample carefully and fill the table. Discuss the observation with your friends. Okay, if you are doing this activity at home, then what you have to find from the garden soil, what you have to see the difference from the garden soil, from the roadside soil, from the farm soil, from the soil nearby the sea coast, because maximum sand particles is there, the sand is available on the sea coast. So after the soil samples collected by your friends, otherwise you, similar to the ones collected by you. Okay, your friends is collect the garden soil and you collect the field soil. Okay, soil is present in the farm. Bujo and Paheli have used the soil in many ways. They enjoy playing with it and is a great fun here. So here we have to see in the table. We have to observe in the table. Soil sources. Garden soil. Grow grass and small plant like rose, hibiscus, okay, and form a ant and minute microorganism. Soil from the roadside, we have to see big trees are grown on the roadside, okay, and animals, so many animals we have to see under the roadside in the under the tree. So that way you have to complete the table. It's just a activity, nothing else. Now next, here we have to see, I wonder why I found some piece of plastic articles and polythene bag in the soil sample collected from the roadside and the garden. Because people throw the garbage, they have to fill the garbage in the plastic and they have to see the plastic on the roadside. So what we have to see, plastic bags and plastic broke down plastic sample on the roadside and in the garden. Why? So polythene bag and plastic polythene in the soil, they also kill the organism living in the soil, because there will be a chemical reaction. The nutrients are present in the soil and plastic bag, and that is why this release a chemical in the soil. It's a mix with the soil, this chemical, because polythene bag जब भी soil के साथ mix होती है तो soil को pollute करती है, and that is why this poisonous release material, otherwise component from the polythene bag kill the microorganism, those who are living in the soil. That is why there is a demand to ban the polythene bags and plastic. Okay, before 2-3 years it will totally banned by the government to on the plastic, otherwise polythene bag. Other substances which pollute the soil are number of waste products. Pay your attention over here. Other product we have to find in the soil. So soil are number of waste product we have to see in the soil. Chemicals and plastic. Waste product and chemicals should be treated before they are released into the soil. Like the plastic bottles and some plastic injection used in the hospital. So when they have to throw in the garbage area, okay, before that treated properly, otherwise it can be damage the soil and decrease the upper layer, otherwise fertility of the soil. Okay, so here we can move further. Soil profile. Soil profile. small pebbles, small stones and sand. And third layer or last layer is made with the pebbles, means big rocks. Okay. So these are the composed, soil is composed from the different layer. Now take a little soil, break the clumps with your hands. We have to see a big soil. Okay, big soil clumps. और वो clumps आपको कहाँ से मिलेगा? खेत में से. Okay, field में से मिलेगा. Soil के जो particles है उसका big clumps होता है. Because when the soil are dried up, it is converted into the clump. Okay, जो मिट्टी का बड़ा सा क्लम्प बन जाता है और वो क्लम्प को आपको लेना है and mash it with your hands. Okay, now take a glass tumbler of 3 quarters filled with the water. Okay, 3 quarters filled with the water means 4 में से आपको 3 parts is filled with the water. Now what we have to do after this? And then add a hump and then add this soil clump which we have to mess with your hand into the glass. Okay, here what we have to observe? The last layer of the water जो heavy particles थे means big stone थे. आपने गार्डन की सॉइल ली है या आपने खेत की सॉइल ली है. ओके, फील्ड की सॉइल ली है तो उसमें जो heavy particles थे, stone थे, this is settled down. That is called gravel, gravel. उससे थोड़ा light particles था like sand, it's a separated. जो heavy particles था वो last layer में, that is called sedimentation. Okay, sand second layer, उसके बाद clay, उसके बाद water, उसके बाद humus. Humus means what is the meaning of humus? The dry leaves and died microorganism is light in weight, and that is why due to their light in weight it is float on the water. Already you have to learn the density मैंने आपको 5th स्टैंडर्ड में सिखाई थी, मुझे याद है. The substance those who are heavier than the water, it sink into the water, and the substance those who are lighter than the water, it is float on the water. So here the stone is heavier. Gravel means small stone. जो black color के stone आते हैं, जो building construction में use होते हैं, that is settled down. And sand is little bit light in weight in a comparison of gravel, so उसका layer separate बना. Okay, मिट्टी उसका लेयर सेपरेट बना, उसके बाद वाटर एंड जो ड्राई लीव्स, ग्रास के जो ड्राई ग्रास था और माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म था, दैट इज फ्लोट ऑन द वाटर. बिकॉज ऑलरेडी डेंसिटी ऑफ माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म इज लेस देन द वाटर एंड डेंसिटी ऑफ ग्रेवल इज मोर देन द वाटर, एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट इज सिंक इनटू द वाटर. So here some question is there. Do you see a layers of particles of different size in the glass tumbler? Yes. ये experiment form में है. Pay your attention. Draw a diagram showing this layer in your notebook. Are there some dead rotting leaves? Pay your attention. Are there some dead rotting leaves or animals remains floating on the water? Are there some dead rotting leaves? Rotting leaves are float in the water. Okay, and animals means here the instead of animals a microorganism is lying in weight float on the water. That is yes. So are there some dead animals rotating otherwise float on the surface of the water? And yes, the rotting dead matters in the soil is called humus. Humus means mixing of peels of banana, peels of vegetables, dry leaves, dry grass, microorganism. These all the things आर डिकेड, सड़ जाती है सॉइल के अंदर एंड कन्वर्टेड इनटू द मैन्योर दैट इज कॉल्ड ह्यूमस. ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट. So, you probably know that the soil is formed by the breaking down of rocks. A big mountains and big rocks are there. Okay, due to heavy temperature or due to daytime, the rocks get heated, and at night it cool down. Again in the monsoon season, the water is falls on the stone, and due to that heat and temperature and cold temperature and water is falls, the crack between the big mountains, between the big rocks, and this crack is converted into the big particles of stone. Again this big particles is converted into the small particles of stone, and that small particles is comes and flow to the roadsides, and due to heat and temperature it pressurized and converted into the soil. So you probably know that the soil is formed by the breaking down of the rocks by the action of wind, water and climate. Wind, okay, water is falls, और climate, weather, hot temperature और cold temperature. जो stone है वो गर्म होता है, उसके बाद कूल डाउन होता है, तो उसके बीच में क्या होती है, क्रैक होती है, और क्रैक की वजह से वो ब्रेक डाउन हो जाता है और स्मॉल पीस में कन्वर्ट होता है. This process is called weathering. Underline the spelling, underline the definition of weathering. What is weathering? Okay, so the soil is formed by the breaking down of rocks by the action of wind, water and climate. This process is called weathering. So up to here the soil, up to weathering is a definition of what is weathering. The nature of any soil depends upon the rocks. The nature of rocks is depend upon the rocks. Nature of soil, like clayey soil, sandy soil, loamy soil. तो स्टोन जो था जिसमें से सॉइल बनी थी, रॉक्स जो था जिसमें से सॉइल बनी थी, वो नेचर में कैसा था? इट्स अ ब्लैक स्टोन, इज अ सैंडी स्टोन, इज अ क्लेई स्टोन. ओके, जो व्हाइट येलो स्टोन आता है दैट इज सैंडी सॉइल. जो ब्लैक आता है, ब्लैक स्टोन आता है दैट इज ब्लैकी सॉइल. ओके, तो नेचुरली जो सॉइल बनती है इट्स डिपेंड अपॉन द रॉक्स. ओके, and this type of vegetation that grow in, तो vegetation or crops grow maximum in clayey soil, not in sandy soil, because sandy soil में sand present है. A vertically section through a different layer of the soil. Pay your attention. A vertically section through a different layer of the soil is called soil profile. हम अभी soil profile क्या है वो पढ़ते हैं. Each layer a different feels texture. Different type of soil में आप इसको touch करोगे, like you have to touch the sandy soil. जो रॉक्स है वो सैंडी सॉइल वाला है, तो व्हेन यू हैव टू टच इट तो उसका जो टेक्सचर है वो आपको रफ लगेगा. और व्हेन यू हैव टू टच द मार्बल सो यू हैव टू फील स्मूथ बिकॉज इट्स मेड फ्रॉम क्लेई सॉइल. सो दैट इज व्हाई द टेक्सचर इज डिपेंड ऑन द डिफरेंट सॉइल. Here we have to see the color, depth and chemical composition. 1 minute. This is the texture of the soil. The color, depth and chemical composition, these layers are referred to as horizontal soil. Pay your attention, here we have to see a bedrock, a C horizon, B horizon and A horizon. So here we can learn one by one what is a horizon is topsoil. Okay, first layer of the soil where maximum sand is there, where maximum pebbles is there. Okay, that is in a bed rock. Maximum pebbles and maximum sand is there in a bed rock. Means last layer of the sea horizon. Sea horizon में little bit minute pebbles, light sand and particles. Okay. B horizon में only very less pebbles is there and upper layer A horizon topsoil that only crops and plants grow. Okay. But here we can learn one by one. Okay. Now here we see that we usually see the top surface of the soil, not the layers below. If we look at the side of the recently dug ditch, we can see the inner layers of the soil. Okay. When we have to dig out the soil with a spoon or any iron rod. So what we have to see the surface of the soil. But not the layer below it. उसके नीचे आपको कोई layer नहीं दिखेगा. Okay? When you have to go 5 to 6 feet below to dig out the soil. Till that you have to not see any layer. Okay? If we look the side of the recently dug ditch, आपने जो digging किया है, dig किया है soil को. Okay? We can see the inner layer of the soil. ओके आप साइड में से जो आप चारों तरफ से सॉइल को डिग आउट कर रहे हैं बट व्हेन यू हैव टू सी द डिग आउट द साइड ऑफ द सॉइल यू हैव टू सी अ डिफरेंट स्टार्टिंग अ डिफरेंट लेयर ऑफ द सॉइल सच अ व्यू enable us to be observe the soil profile at that place ओके बट हमको वहां पे सॉइल का कोई प्रोफाइल नहीं दिखेगा मींस अपर लेयर टॉप लेयर सेकंड लेयर बी होरिजन सी होरिजन ओके होरिजन क्या है सॉइल के लेयर है कि अपर लेयर में क्या क्या है सेकंड लेयर में क्या है थर्ड और लास्ट लेयर में रॉक्स है ओके सो सॉइल प्रोफाइल कैन आल्सो बी सीन व्हाइल डिगिंग अ वॉल लेइंग ऑफ अ फाउंडेशन ऑफ अ बिल्डिंग तभी आपको बेडरॉक मिलेगा ओके व्हेन यू हैव टू कंस्ट्रक्ट द बिल्डिंग एंड यू हैव टू डिग आउट द डीप सॉइल okay then you have to see the layer till that upper layer up to 5 to 10 feet we cannot see any layer of the soil so the soil digging a wall laying of the fundamental of the building otherwise foundation of a building it can also be seen at the side of a road on a hill or at a river bank okay so here we have to see when we have to go near a sea coast otherwise road की जो दोनों साइड है वहां पे आप जब डिगिंग करोगे तो you have to find a little bit third or fourth layer of the soil so now in the next lecture we can learn detail in soil so here we can complete our today's lecture